allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray? Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of March 9th, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Journal's approved. We have no bid openings tonight, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises or zoning matters this evening, so we'll move to road and bridge matters. Under road and bridge matters, item number 1, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Moving on to other communications, Mr. Chair, item number 1.
Drop from the order of business, and that will be the order.
Item number 2.
Receive, file, and county council is be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 3.
Item number 4, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 5.
Same motion through item number 6, and that will be the order. Thank you.
Item number 7, 7th district.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 8, 1st district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the city of Northwoods.
So ordered.
Item number 9.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 10, 3rd district.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 11, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 12, 6th district.
Receive, file, and a change of owner be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 13.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Moving on to the add-ons, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Item number 1, 1st district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 1st district.
Receive and file.
So ordered. Report of the county executive.
Nothing further than that.
Public forum.
We have 3 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. When your name's called, please approach the podium. Give your name and address for the record, and please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes.
First speaker this evening is Tom Sullivan.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few things to mention this evening. It was recently announced that St. Louis Zoo is buying 425 acres of land in North County from the pipe fitters for $7.1 million. You have to wonder why County Executive Stinger, who is best buddies with the pipe fitters, didn't try to buy it for the St. Louis County Park System. The zoo people are thinking about asking for a sales tax increase to operate a breeding complex on the property. If they need additional revenue, they need to start charging for admission, the same as zoos across the country. The San Diego Zoo's admission charges are $54 for adults and $44 for children. A family of 4 pays nearly $200. A family of 4 pays nothing to get into the St. Louis Zoo. I'm not suggesting the St. Louis Zoo charge the same as San Diego, but there needs to be some charge. Leave the taxpayers alone. On another matter, the county executive continues to make a big deal about the county auditor not completing any audits after nearly a year. It should be remembered that he has yet to provide the promised top-to-bottom forensic audit after 3 years. Nowhere in the finished product will you ever see the word forensic or the phrase top-to-bottom forensic audit. That's because it isn't. The Metropolitan Sewer District has a new stormwater proposal. I would suggest the council request a presentation. Of particular interest is whether MSD is going to start addressing flooding and erosion problems caused by the River Des Peres. Rather incredibly, Sewer District officials claim it is not their responsibility. Speaking of MSD, Mayor Lyda Crewson appointed a new trustee on January the 1st, and he didn't show up for a board meeting until last week. This caused the stormwater project for St. John's to be delayed for 2 months. The mayor's appointments to the sewer district aren't much better than the county executives. Just recently, there was a news article about the sheriff of St. Clair County wanting to put additional deputies on Metrolink trains with half their time inside St. Louis. The Post-Dispatch just wrote an editorial about St. Louis County Police not fully cooperating on Metrolink security. This is another ongoing problem the county executive is unable to resolve. Perhaps the council's new transit committee can review the matter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Tom.
Next speaker is Kira Braxton.
Good evening. My name is Kira Braxton. I reside at 19 Conley Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63135. Good evening, all council members. We, the 55 employees of the Department of Justice Service, would like to thank all of the council members for your continued support of us during this process. We are extremely grateful for the county council platform available to the citizens and employees to voice issues and concerns with expected hope for fairness and resolutions. We appreciate all of the council members that answered our emails, phone calls, and for listening to our concerns at these meetings over the last 17 weeks. A special thanks to the two council members, Councilwoman Irby and Walton Gray, for taking time to contact us and personally meet with us concerning this issue. Chairman Page, thanks for being supportive and patient with us at the council meetings, even when we've gone over our 3 minutes. We, the 55, would like to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for Councilwoman Irby taking the charge of writing and sponsoring this bill for us. Though this has been a tedious process, you have never wavered in your resolve, and you stayed with us the entire time, often offering us needed encouragement along the way. County Executive Stenger, you said you would support a bill by Councilwoman Irby concerning this matter. Her bill is on the agenda tonight, and we anticipate you being a county executive of your word by signing the bill. We want to thank you for that and fully anticipate your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Final speaker this evening is Julie Cronable.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Julie Cronable, and I'm a resident of the 2nd District. I have been with the Police Crime Laboratory since 2012, and I'm here again tonight to provide updates regarding the inadequate pay for the Police Crime Laboratory. After 7 weeks, we have finally received a counteroffer from the county as of yesterday. This offer, however, is basically the same offer that was given to us back in January and still does not address our overall concerns of reclassification and compression. Again, these are issues that officers have successfully addressed through bargaining, but we apparently do not deserve the same consideration. Fingerprint analysts were reclassified to the 114 pay scale at the beginning of the year. The job duties of this unit are most similar to that of the Police Crime Laboratory. When initially organizing our bargaining unit, fingerprints was considered for our group, but was not accredited and not officially a part of the laboratory and therefore not included. Our supervisors were reclassified to the 115 pay scale at the beginning of the year. This is technically a 1-level promotion, but they currently sit 2 pay scales above us since they were reclassified and we were not. These are just 2 examples of how we have been disregarded while others surrounding us have been addressed. So why are we at least not being offered reclassification? Is it a punishment for bargaining? And when it comes to compression, we are just as badly compressed as the officers were, if not more. We have an analyst who started just a couple weeks ago, making the same as analysts who have been here for more than 6 years. We have an analyst with 12 years of experience making $22.93 an hour, while an analyst with 10 years is making $26.19, and an analyst with 2 years is making $24.45. Mind you, these are all for the same position of an FS2 forensic scientist too. How is this acceptable, and why was this addressed for officers but not for the professional staff? I could go on with examples and questions that I have for the county, but I will save them for another time. Thank you.
No more speakers, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. This concludes our public forum. Please proceed with introduction of bills.
Bill number 50, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county Authorize the county executive to accept a grant of up to $46,195.61 from the Missouri Department of Public Safety, appropriating the same for support of the salaries of personnel at the Kathy J. Wyman Shelter, authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 51, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $16,774 from the unappropriated balance of the general fund for support of fire protection services for the Elmwood Park area. Bill number 52, introduced by Councilmember Harder for Councilmember Tracus, an ordinance amending ordinance number 26,924 by repealing and reenacting Section 1 pertaining to a contract with Telecom Pioneers and AT&T Pioneers, Chapter number 11 of Region 6 of the Telephone Pioneers of America, doing business as JB Telephone Museum for lease of number 12-14 Hancock in Jefferson Barracks Park. Bill number 53, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance amending Title 12, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended traffic code by deleting 3 provisions from Schedule 7 and by enacting and adding 3 provisions to Schedule 6. Bill number 54, introduced by Councilmember Erby, an ordinance transferring to the Health Fund the amount of $295,657 from the unappropriated balance of the General Fund, appropriating said amount from the unappropriated balance of the Health Fund for support of the salaries of correction medicine employees, and appropriating the amount of $300,279 from the unappropriated balance of the General Fund for support of the salaries of various Department of Justice Services employees. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection.
Bill number 305, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 305.
305 is held.
Bill number 307, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Move to hold Bill 307 as well.
Bill 307 is held.
Bill number 350, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Please hold on the order of business.
Bill 350 is held.
Bill number 32, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill number 32, and Bill number 32 will be held.
Bill number 33, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill number 33, Bill number 33 will be held.
Bill number 34, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Same motion, Bill number 34 will be held.
Bill number 35, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Same motion, 35 will be held.
Bill number 38, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for perfection of bill number 38.
Second.
Sir, were we gonna get some more information on that, or did we? Is there gonna be
I think you had a hearing on this
We have a
already.
hearing.
well, okay, I mean, I didn't know if we came to any conclusions of anything, at least any more conversation about it, but.
The conclusion was that we needed a director or manager, whichever her name is, to be a licensed veterinarian. I received messages all last night and this morning about the animals at the Animal Control Center being ill, and there's dysentery and parvo that it exists right now. I was told that animals are dying, and that there's a crisis over there. We need somebody in control who knows what they're doing.
Well, we received a letter from the Director of Public Health about those issues today as well regarding to that. And from the board about, the board who's there now is saying that it's not, from my understanding, it's not, you don't legally have to have a veterinarian as the director, but I understand the issues. I hope that everything gets corrected, but there has been response to some of these things, or, I mean, the other side of the story, so. I didn't know, I really don't know if that's gonna solve the problem.
If what's gonna solve the problem? That we have a licensed veterinarian?
Well, as the director, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't have a license. I mean, I'm not a professional in that field, so I was hoping to hear more about it, but that's fine.
Councilman Harder, did you have a comment?
Yes, I was wondering if we could have Dr. Khan answer a few questions at the podium.
Is Dr. Khan here? Thank you, Councilman Harder.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Khan, for stepping forward. Could you tell us about this position of the Director of Animal Care and Control? And does it have to be a veterinarian, not a veterinarian? Where does it stand in compared to other municipalities and jurisdictions? And what would be the difference between a manager and a director as a vet or not as a vet?
Yes, sir. To provide you some context, sir, we've had employees in both categories in that role. However, the description and having a licensed clinician or a veterinarian in that position is always an added bonus, but that is not a requirement of the job. The basic requirement of the job is somebody who is good at shelter management, who is a good personnel manager, and who understands the processes and the technological solutions that apply to modern-day shelter management. We had shelter managers in the past who have been very good managers. We have filled the capacity or the need for veterinarians by employing veterinarians directly at the shelter. So at a time, we've had 2 full-time veterinarians and a shelter manager operate the place.
So under the new, going forward, we've got 2 vets that are on
No,
the
sir,
schedule.
not currently. Those positions are vacant. So at the moment, we have a veterinarian under contract who comes in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to do rounds.
Okay, but we were told at one of the hearings that 2 veterinarians were hired. They haven't started yet?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Have they been hired? They just haven't?
I do not know, sir. I know we were actively recruiting for them, but I don't know if they've been hired yet.
Okay. We were under the impression they were hired, and it might have been a starting issue.
That may very well have been the case, sir. I'm not aware of that.
Okay. And the issue that, the email you sent out, I guess, in answer to Councilman Irby's request about sick dogs, could you review for the record what's going on there with the dogs that are sick now?
Yes, sir. Canine parvovirus is a very common and highly contagious viral infection found in shelters and kennels all over the United States. Any outbreak of parvovirus is a serious event, and it is taken very seriously by the St. Louis County Animal Control Shelter. We have strict infection control protocols that go into effect as soon as an animal who is in distress or exhibits the signs and symptoms of parvovirus infection is identified. However, because we receive animals on a daily basis and their exposure date may vary, we don't always necessarily know at the point of intake whether or not an animal is carrying the virus. In this instance, there were 3 dogs that were brought in over the last 10 days, 2 of whom died of parvovirus, one as recently as yesterday. The third one is expected to recover. We have isolated the ill animals per the protocol. We've begun scrubbing down and cleaning the entire kennel as required with a virucidal agent that kills on contact. Furthermore, all staff, and as I'm told this morning by the shelter manager in charge, volunteers are also being advised about accessing dogs and handling procedures, etc. The signs and symptoms of parvovirus can include fever, can include vomiting, diarrhea, and bloody stools on occasion. It is highly contagious in the sense that it can be transmitted from fomites, from animal to animal, and carried by people on their clothing or shoes. It is a tough virus to kill, and it can survive harsh environments. So it is very important that the full respective time be allocated to infection control procedures to stem the tide of infection. We are not alone in that we've had parvovirus outbreaks. All shelters and kennels, all major shelters, certainly in the St. Louis region, the APA, the HSMO, as well as Stray Rescue, have had parvovirus outbreaks in the past.
Is this something that happens seasonally? Is this something that happens monthly?
It is
How
unpredictable, sir. some animals that are brought in may have been exposed to the virus at some point in time. We just have no idea when we're subjecting them to intake. As a matter of routine, it is a vaccine-preventable disease, so we do, as a matter of routine, immunize all animals that are taken in. But if they've already been exposed and they're just in the incubation period, the vaccine will be ineffective.
So that is part of the protocol. When they come in, they are vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
If we don't know their records, they just get another boost, or?
Yes, sir. We simply have no idea. If strays are picked up or abandoned animals are picked up, we have no idea where they've been.
Okay. And last question deals, going back to the director. So if the director who says she is educated as a veterinarian, but for whatever reason doesn't have a license, could she go ahead and get her license and be in compliance to this new ordinance or not?
She could potentially do that. It is my understanding, and quite frankly, the requirement of the job, that that's not a necessity. It has never been so.
Okay. And is there a reason why she doesn't want to register as a vet or have
I'm
a license?
not aware of
You asked
any
those
reason why, sir.
questions in the hearing, remember?
Yeah, and I want to hear it from someone else that runs this place.
You want him to tell you the reason why she didn't get it when she already told you.
She didn't say why she didn't get it. She just said she didn't have it, so. Whatever. Thank you, doctor.
Thanks, sir.
Dr. Khan,
Yes, ma'am.
question. When is the last time, if at all, that we've experienced the parvo outbreak?
I don't think we've ever had an outbreak in the last 7 or 8 years that I'm aware of.
Okay.
We may have had 1 or 2 dogs brought in that displayed signs and symptoms. They were isolated, and so it never got to be an outbreak. It was more of an isolated case that was managed.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Khan, who does the shelter manager or director report to now?
Sir, the Animal Care and Control Program administratively rests in the Department of Public Health. We provide fiscal and HR support. However, the director of the program reports to the Chief of Operations for St. Louis County.
So is the Department of Health involved in the day-to-day management?
No, sir.
So, but you're involved now because of the communicable disease aspect of
Yes,
this?
sir.
So when did you become involved in the management, or your department, not you particularly, but
Right. I actually only learned about that from a phone call from Councilman Irby.
Today?
Yes, and as it turns out, the management and containment steps were already underway. I provided the email update as a courtesy to Councilman Irby.
And thank you.
Thank you.
So is it your intention to be involved in the management of this now, even though it's not
No, sir.
directly reported to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Thanks for coming up.
And another point, the COO that he mentions, and this is not for you, Dr. Khan, is no longer the COO. That's what we were told. So now who has it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, I move for perfection of Bill number 38.
Any more discussion? It's an important issue. I'll certainly entertain further
I
comments.
and I agree, we need, if there's issues, we need to take care of them. I guess my question is this a position for the council to dictate who's there? I mean, I'm not qualified to say who should be running a shelter. I mean, do we have somebody that does that instead of us? You know,
It does
I
what?
don't know that we
hires a director, or there's a board that sets up, the
We're not going to hire.
parameters to who does it? I mean, I don't know anything about hiring
We already
or saying
have-
who should be qualified or who shouldn't be. I mean, it's,
We already have someone who hired the director or the manager, whichever title it is, because they keep changing it. A person who came from another city, who was apparently let go, who had some dogs that she sold or something or used for guinea pigs and collected funds for them. Her resume is horrible. You heard that. So why do we even have her?
Okay. All in favor of perfection of Bill number 38, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No.
I'll abstain. I'm not certain to the direction of this bill.
Okay. So I believe the majority carries on perfection, even if you don't have 4 votes. What's our charter say?
Yes, it carries on perfection.
Okay. Bill number 38 is perfected. Bill number 44.
Bill number 44, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect, oh, no, we're gonna hold this actually and have a hearing. Move to hold bill number 44, and bill number 44 is held, and we'll post a hearing date at a later time.
Do you know, Mr. Chair, do you know what committee you'll be referring that to?
No, I don't.
Bill number 45, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move to perfect Bill number 45.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 45 is perfected.
Bill number 46, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 46.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 46 is perfected.
Bill number 47, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 47.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Bill number 47 is perfected.
Bill number 48, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 48.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 48 is perfected. Final passage.
Bill number 353, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill number 353, and 353 will be held.
Bill number 36, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 36.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 36, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 36 is finally passed.
Bill number 37, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 37.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 37, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 37 is finally passed.
Bill number 39, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger and Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 39.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 39, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 39 is finally passed.
Bill number 40, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for final passage of bill number 40. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 40, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 40 is finally passed.
Bill number 41, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
I move for final passage for Bill number 41.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 41, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 41 is finally passed.
Bill number 42, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
Move for final passage of bill number 42.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 42, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 42 is finally passed.
Bill number 43, introduced by Councilmember Erby for Councilmember Page.
Has this been on the calendar for 15 days? Thought we had to hold it.
No, this one has been.
It has been?
49 was the one that we were.
This one's okay.
Okay, I'll move for final passage of Bill number 43.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember Gray.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus. Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 43, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 43 is finally passed.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 49, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 49, and this substitute will be held.
Moving on to resolutions, Mr. Chair, we have 2 this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Harder for Councilmember Tracus.
Please read the first paragraph.
Whereas Section 1003.300 St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 is amended, provides that the county council may by resolution of intention institute consideration of amendments, supplements, or changes to the regulations, zoning district boundaries, or classifications of property under the zoning ordinance of St. Louis County.
Okay, thank you. I move for approval of resolution number 1.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmembers Walton, Gray, and Erby.
I move for passage of resolution number 2.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus? Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Chair, item number 1.
Please hold on the order of business a motion through item number 3, and all of these will be held. That will be the order.
Item number 4, third district.
Hold on the order of business.
Item number 4 is held.
Item number 5.
Receive, file, and appointment be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain. Is that the one?
Yes, it's one we just
Abstain.
talked about.
Okay.
You want, yes. You want to comment?
No.
Okay. Motion carries. This appointment is approved as requested.
Moving on to new business, Mr. Chair, we have 3 prepared orders this evening.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
Second.
All in favor of adoption of order number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 1 is adopted.
I move for adoption of order number 2.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of adoption of order number 2, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 2 is adopted.
I move for adoption of order number 3. This is the order that, this is about our recess for next week, right? Yeah, okay. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, March 27th at 6:30 PM.
This order also recognizes that the agenda for the next meeting will be posted on Monday instead of the Friday before, in recognition that our county council staff are out next week for spring break. All in favor of order number 3, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 3 is adopted. Any comments by any council members?
I had a question going back to the order on one of, here, flip back here. It was the, I believe it was Councilman Erby's bill, or not bill, but communication. Item on add-ons, number 2. I guess.
She did
You
not
said
order legislation.
Yeah, do we need to read that paragraph to be legal, or?
I think you can choose, you received and filed that, but you didn't order legislation.
Mr.
Oh, she
Chair,
had a different,
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
If I might, that was an error, the original motion about legislation. What will happen is that when we receive the county councilor's letter regarding sufficiency of the petition that was submitted and the county councilor's recommendation for legislation, we will order legislation at that time. The council will order legislation.
so there's no plan to order legislation. Councilman Irby was spot on. I had a different note as well.
Yeah, because I just had a paragraph printed here and I
I
didn't
see
know.
that.
Okay, never mind.
Thanks for checking that.
Good catch.
I just didn't know if it, whatever.
We appreciate surveillance. It's always helpful. Any comments by any other council member?
I have a brief comment. I just would like to take this opportunity to congratulate 3 municipalities in St. Louis County that were acknowledged as in the top 10 in the United States best cities to live in, and number 8 was Brentwood, number 7 was City of Clayton, and number 4 was Richmond Heights. So congratulations to all those municipalities.
They have good leadership.
They also happen to be in the 5th, but I didn't want to throw it in.
So we're off next week for break. We'll be back on the 27th, and we'll have a busy day of hearings. Councilman Harder.
Since we're congratulating municipalities, I'd like to congratulate the city of Baldwin as the 25th safest city in the country and the safest city in the state of Missouri.
That was a recent mark. Did that happen 3 or 4 years ago?
No, this just happened,
Recently?
in the last
Okay.
couple weeks.
All right, thank you.
Well, how about I just acknowledge that Jennings is going to state
All right.
Warriors? How about that?
What sport?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
we'll be rooting for them.
Other than that, motion to adjourn.
Local team.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. Have a nice break.